country. Well, why not? Where there's cow, there's bovine. And nobody can deny that. Where there are cow, there are bovine. And you were telling me that the people that took those cows to Africa is being kind to us when they know that these animals are poisonous? Are they being kind to us? No, they're not. I know Arabs in Africa that sells our people pork, but he doesn't eat it. Why would he do that? Is that being kind? That is where Urwa comes in. I am a member of Urwa. In Urwa, you don't even entertain a thought about injuring someone else. Not even a thought. In Urwa, Urwa is where we become impeccable. Urwa teaches us what not to eat. Because what you eat will determine how you behave. You don't want that. The rest of the religions in the world, they all are good. But they also need to be updated, you know. We need to help the religions of the world, because I grew up in religion. And you know, we grew up in religion and we feel good, and it is good. Because it contains us, discipline us, which I still remember. And me, like I said, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. Every 13th Sabbath, I used to have to go do my recitation because I'm a Seventh-day Adventist. And I loved it. Then I was an Anglican. I was in the Anglican church as an altar boy. So you see, I'm the product of religions. I am the product of religions. I just happened to notice the chapter about the health aspect of the religions. And we need to make our preachers aware, look, we are sick because unconsciously we are violating God Almighty. We don't want to do that anymore. But then, we didn't know about the deleterious effect that blood and starch was going to have on our brain. Oh my God. Now to think about it. Go read the Bible again. The herbs are for the healing of the nation. Well, why can't we do it? And why don't we do it? You know why? The blood and starch going to tell you, you better not. You're going to die. Don't you go to God now. You're going to follow me. I am the blood and the starch that you have been conditioned with. You're going to listen to me, not the Bible. You know who did that to me? My own brother, the preacher man. My own brother did that to me. Yeah, I went into his kitchen. And when I got into my brother's kitchen, I saw a hog head on the table. I said, no, this boy is out of his mind. So I passed by the hog head and went straight to my mom. My mama lived in the back house. I said, hey, Mom, your son have on his table a hog head that's bleeding. They must have just cut it off the hog. I said, I want you to go in and ask my brother to explain to us scientifically why is he going to eat the head of this dead animal. Now, we didn't eat that in the jungles of Africa because there were no hogs there. Look at how we have been reduced to the head of a dead animal. We're going to eat the head of a bleeding dead animal. Oh, I forgot. I forgot that part of the conditioning goes like this. I'm going to eat this dead animal because where else am I going to get my protein? Protein. But the animal is dead and your body is alive. How is this dead animal going to help to nourish this live body? That doesn't make sense. And now we go to the second part, protein. What is protein? Well, I could give you guys the scientific answer. It is one of the 19 amino acids, the building blocks of life. And that's that. Hey, Dr. Steinberg and Dr. Gluck from the pediatric hospital in Washington, D.C. The little girl had sickle cell anemia. She no longer has it, but she's looking at my diet. Said I didn't give her cholesterol protein. Protein? Dr. Steinberg, what is protein? This 19 amino acids. I said, is it electrical? She said, I don't know. But the human body is electrical. Is protein electrical? She said, I don't know. I said, well, you should know, because you're using it as your premise. This is your foundation of your argument, protein. How many electrons per atom does protein contain? Why do you ask the question? Because if it doesn't have any electrons, it is non-electrical. My body is electrical. So how is this animal going to help me? You see, she couldn't answer that question. But those of us who have accepted the word protein, we're satisfied because it sounds scientific. Not with me. You better make sense. Remember what Mama used to say? Make sense, boy. Common sense. Protein. That's a big word. Nothing behind it. So yes, God herbs work. They work all the time. Because it's God. It's for us. God wants us to be loving and sweet. Of course. When I meet Chinese, I'm happy. I've been to China. I've been to many places in China and Arabia. Those folks don't look like me. I met a woman just recently in Los Angeles, one of the sweetest lady that you ever want to meet. This lady, look, I could describe her as being the mother of Jesus. That's how she moved. This lady was so, symmetry. All the way. What race, what tribe? She was a Laplander. She followed the reindeer around Europe, Finland, Norway, Russia, come back around. These people followed the reindeer. I said, tell me about your life. And this lady started telling me about her life. Boy, you know, it's so different from ours. African people who live in the jungle, walking around naked, and we live among these great big animals they call elephants and rhinoceros, and some of the most poisonous snakes. How did we survive? Isn't that something? How did we survive? By the grace of God Almighty. That's how we survived, and we will always survive. So now, Urua brings with it the healing which brings peace, which in turn brings love. And with that, I end. This is the end of our little chapter. But we come to the better part. Question and answers, Q&A. I would like for the public to begin to get their questions together, because this is where much will be ironed out. Are there any questions? Oh, thank you guys. Thank you guys.
Good day. Are there different causes for insomnia in different people? And if so, what are the cures?
There's not different causes or reasons for insomnia. Remember what I said. There's only one disease. And I said that that disease was mucus. When the membrane has been compromised, she asked the cause of insomnia. Where is the mucus? Come on the brain. So we remove it. That was happening to the tailor that they wanted me to train by, Mr. Boyd Renau. He couldn't sleep for 5 years, but I was able to have him sleeping in a few days, in a few hours after taking the treatment. He was sleeping because the mucus left his brain. That's where you find the mucus. Young man, your question.
I'm glad to be speaking to you finally. And my mother is dealing with lupus right now. And we've been taking the CMOS, the Viento, the Maya, the green food. And we've seen much improvement. But I know you have other stuff to add to that haven't reached Nassau yet. So I'd like to, afterwards, get the names of those things so I could order it through the computer.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and then secondly, but the lupus, right, it's leaving, even when it goes, it's going to leave pulmonary fibrosis, scar tissue.
Yes.
So we really need something to reverse the scar tissue because that's the cause of reduction in the oxygen diffusion and a chronic dry cough, which, the oxygen diffusion reduction causes a constant fatigue. And then there's also a miserable chronic dry cough because of the scar tissue in the lung.
Yes, sir.
So we need something to really reverse
okay.
that, because medical science.
I would tell Jamal, and I would put that together. What's your name?
Teru.
Jerome?
Teru. T-E-R-R-U.
T-E-R-R-U.
Like Peru with a
Teru.
T. But my question would be, what is yeast? I know what yeast is, but is there a purpose for yeast, like a useful purpose for yeast? Because I don't know.
There's never been a useful purpose for yeast because yeast is a fungus, bacteria really. It eats away on things. Yeast should never be in the human body. It has no purpose. The human body is composed of 102 plus minerals. Yeast is not one of them. So why should I take any yeast in my body? This is why Jamal is telling me that many of you who is making bread with spelt flour uses the CMOS. CMOS acts in flour like yeast would. It raises the flour up. So you have a natural leaven here that you could bake your bread wholesome without the yeast, because yeast affects the nervous system. Yeast affects the brain. He said his mother was doing better, but he would like to get something else, and I would tell that to Jamal. Yes, ma'am.
I would like to know if God made passion fruit, and what is wrong with the mustard seed?
Very good. The question from the lady is that ask if God made passion fruit. Well, the answer is no. God did not make passion fruit. We have on the board here pH. pH is an abbreviation for hydrogen ion concentration. Many of us in the audience may not know what it means, pH. You know the pH value of a thing. You buy the hair conditioner, talk about pH, but you never really know what it is. Well, pH is only a measure used to determine whether a substance is either acid or alkali. Now, when she asked about passion fruit, many of us doesn't know that passion fruit is like a mule. It's like a horse. Passion fruit is like rice or beans. They are hybrids. They were made by cross-pollinating or cross-breeding. A horse and a jackass makes a mule. But then the mule, the jackass and the horse already were hybrids. They aren't natural. They're some unnatural beasts. You see, when you talk about animals and plants, any plant that is grown in a farm, oh, that's a farm bred, that's a natural farm bred, an apple, a pear, a plum. But when you talk about sea grape, that's a wild fruit. When you talk about a dog, oh, a dog is a nice animal. You know, he brings all kind of disease in your house, but that's okay. He's a nice animal. A lion, that's a wild animal. Everything that God made is wild. Why can it be natural? Why can the word natural be used instead of wild? So we go over here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If a substance is 1 in acidity and you take it, you will die within minutes. If it's 2, you may live hours or months. But if it's 3, you will live a little bit longer, but you're going to die quick, surely. But garlic that you put in your food is 3.3. You could do the research. Now, here you're using a substance that they tell you is good. But garlic is 3.3. Passion fruit at least is 4. See, passion fruit. Now you see, when I take all this away from you, what you going to eat now? Ah, that is what they did to us. They took us away from Africa, but they didn't bring our food with us. So now we're eating, instead of diesel, we're eating gasoline. This is why when we sit, we can't really communicate because we're not really balanced. Because I'm eating a food that is undermining my thinking pattern. Shut up, boy. Can't you see I tell you to shut up? This behavior comes from that. From right this over there. That is unnecessary. You know, I have 2 groups of children, or 3 of them. I have children in their 50s. I have children and they're 16 years old. So I have a bunch of children. And I noticed that I never had to hit one of them. But boy, they say, don't spare the rod. Where we get that from? That isn't African. That isn't African. That comes from someplace else. You know? So yes, passion fruit is deadly. It's over here. It's unnatural. You see, we have to begin to research Africa and extrapolate from it the things that we need, and that's what we're going to do with Jamal. We're doing it now. He's bringing you all kind of grains that you didn't know about. He's bringing substance that you should use, and it's good. See, because we're going to begin to heal. We need healing. All of us are sick in here today. Every one of you is sick, and that's including me. And I may be the sickest. I just may be the sickest. But all of us are sick. Why not? Look at what we've been eating. Blood and starch. Now I know that in the audience there are scientists and teachers. But I want you to go and do research. Biochemical research. And find where starch and blood is nutritious. And come back to me. Don't come back with your protein bit. Because that doesn't hold water. Protein has no electricity. And notice carefully, they tell us that the greatest source of protein is a hog. Well, in nature, the more you drink, the more you eat, the better it is for you. Well, in the other world, the inorganic world where you're going to eat a dead animal, you eat that hog, get protein from it, and see how long you will live.
I have a question.
Close to it.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Sebi, I've been to your shop just to see you and to explain something to you. I've been in this country from 1969, and in 1971, when Mahalia Jackson died, I struggled with my nerves. I got a nervous breakdown. They sent me and the private ward on Sunderland. So I worked there for 2 weeks. And after that, they've been giving me a lot of different medicine, like Proxil, diaphragm, like, y'all had to see with me.
That's okay, don't worry about it. You take your time. You don't have to remember all of them.
All
they
right,
give you
sir.
all these medicines.
All right. I live there. I've been to Cuba to see different